The Great Escape. A case for Mr. M. The Alcatrax Fortress stood like an iron sentinel, a maximum security prison acclaimed as unbreachable. Its walls of reinforced steel, its motion sensors, and its biometric locks were designed to contain the most dangerous criminals. For decades, it held firm, a place where hope went to die. Until one fateful morning. 3 prisoners had vanished without a trace. No alarms had sounded, no doors had been tampered with, and the surveillance footage showed nothing unusual. Carlton Hayes, the unyielding warden, was a man not easily shaken. But now, standing amidst the chaos, he felt the weight of something unimaginable. Desperate for answers, he turned to the only man capable of solving the mystery, enigmatic detective, Mr. M. Mr. M arrived with the calm precision of a man who had seen the improbable become reality countless times. Sitting across from Warden Hayes in the cold, sterile office, he listened intently to every detail. The cells were locked, the guards were accounted for. The cameras showed nothing. Hayes insisted. Mr. M leaned back, his piercing eyes fixed on the warden. "Impossible is merely a word," he replied. "Tell me everything, every detail leading up to the discovery." And so, the warden described the events. At 10 p.m., the prisoners were accounted for during the head count. At 6 a.m., their cells were found empty. The guards reported no disturbances through the night. But as Hayes spoke, he hesitated, then added, "There was one thing. A faint smell of ammonia in the air." "Ammonia," Mr. M repeated softly, his mind already racing. Curious. The detective moved methodically through the prison. The cells, the surveillance room, the air ventivery corner was scrutinized under his sharp gaze. He asked peculiar questions: the cleaning schedules, the type of chemicals used, the frequency of garbage disposal. Warden Hayes followed, his frustration growing. "Why focus on cleaning products?" "Because every escape leaves a footprint," Mr. M replied, "even if that footprint is invisible." In the surveillance room, he studied hours of footage. One detail stood out: a janitor's cart being wheeled down the corridor at 3 a.m., its handler lingering near the prisoner's cells for longer than necessary. "Does this guard normally clean at that hour?" "No," Hayes answered, puzzled. "Then let's examine that cart," Mr. M said with quiet certainty. The cart was heavier than it should have been, its wheels straining under the load. In the cells, Mr. M found faint scratches around the air vent, gratis scratches too deliberate to be accidental. The smell of ammonia, it was used to neutralize the motion sensors. Mr. M deduced. The cart concealed tools and breathing equipment. The prisoners disassembled the ducts and crawled their way out through the ventilation system. The warden's face darkened. But how did they get past the perimeter alarms? Mr. M requested the garbage disposal records. He noticed a consistent pattern. Trash was removed every morning at 5 a.m. through a chute leading outside the prison walls. The final piece, Mr. M concluded. They timed their escape with the garbage run, concealing themselves in the waste containers. The guards, following routine, unknowingly transported them outside. With the plan unraveled, the focus turned to the inside man, the guard, pushing the janitor's cart. Under questioning, he confessed. Bribed by the prisoners, he supplied the tools and tampered with cameras to cover their movements. But for Mr. M, the case didn't feel complete. Sitting in his study later that night, he reviewed the details, a nagging thought refusing to leave him. The escape plan was intricate, yet something about it felt too convenient. "Hayes," he called the warden, "tell me about the prisoners. Who were they?" The prisoners' profiles revealed a chilling trio. Tomas Vizek, a former syndicate leader with a knack for strategy. Marco DeSantis, a master forger known for his cunning. Lucas Eldridge, a disgraced chemist with a history in black market narcotics. "A chemist?" Mr. M repeated, intrigued. "Did he have access to cleaning supplies?" "Yes," Hayes admitted. Mr. M leaned back, a theory forming. The chemist's expertise explained the ammonia and the precision of the escape. But why leave no trace of their destination? The chemist's workstation held the answer. Hidden beneath a workbench were cryptic notes and a hollowed-out book containing traces of a mysterious white powder. This wasn't just an escape, Mr. M realized. They left something behind, something unfinished. The notes hinted at a formula, an experimental compound designed to neutralize surveillance systems. "They didn't escape to disappear," Mr. M said. "They escaped to deliver this work to someone waiting for them." That night, a shadow moved outside Mr. M's study. He turned off the light and waited silently. Minutes later, a figure darted away, vanishing into the darkness. The next morning, Warden Hayes delivered grim news. The workshop had been broken into, and the chemist's notes were gone. "They wanted those notes all along," Mr. M said. "The escape was a distraction, a cover for retrieving the unfinished work." Mr. M traced the chemist's associates, uncovering the name Victor Klein, a reclusive scientist with ties to criminal networks. Klein was obsessed with developing a device that could render surveillance systems useless. In an abandoned factory, Mr. M found the escapees finalizing their work under Klein's watchful eye. "You overlooked one thing," Mr. M said, stepping into the light. Klein smirked. "And what's that?" "The chemist formulates flawed. Your device will fail in minutes, exposing you to every camera in the city." Panic spread as the device sputtered. Moments later, authorities stormed the factory, bringing the operation to an end. Back in his study, Mr. M reflected on the case. The escape was never about freedom, it was about ambition. The chemist's brilliance had created something powerful, but in the wrong hands, it became a weapon of chaos. Even in captivity, Mr. M mused, the human mind seeks freedom, but not all pursuits are noble. And so, another case was closed. Yet the memory of the chemist's ingenuity and the shadows it cast remained, a reminder of the thin line between brilliance and malevolence.